People no longer think the Earth is flat. Well, most of us don't. Through the years, humanity learned how volcanoes work, and we've explored almost every inch of land, but some places still baffle us. Number 10, Bermuda Triangle. If you've never heard this name before, which planet do you even come from? Loosely defined, this area is located in the North Atlantic Ocean and visually forms a triangle between Bermuda, Florida, and Puerto Rico. A disturbingly large number of aircrafts and ships keep disappearing there every year. Though it's not like every single plane or vessel crossing these waters is lost forever, the numbers are still too high to be considered standalone accidents. And though scientists have time and again dismissed any supernatural reasons, explaining disappearances with magnetic anomalies that cause compasses mislead sea and airfarers, many people choose to believe that some extraterrestrial powers are at play here. Another popular opinion is connected to the lost city of Atlantis that is believed to be located somewhere near this territory, only deep under the ocean. Supernatural or not, the area does give out a spooky vibe. In the words of a pilot who reported right before his entire squadron of 6 bombers disappeared in 1945, everything looks strange, even the ocean. Before we move on, leave a like on this video, smash that subscribe button, and hit the notification bell to be the first watching new episodes. Number 9, Doubletree of Cosorso. If you ever happen to travel in northern Italy, make sure to visit the region of Piedmont. Here, between the towns of Cosorso and Grana, you'll find a truly amazing natural manifestation of life. In a place that has quickly become a tourist spot, you will see a cherry tree growing right out of the center of a mulberry tree. Such cohabitation is in fact not at all uncommon in nature. Called epiphytes, they occur when a seed of one plant is dropped on another, usually by a bird. Epiphytes are normally weak and short-lived, and sometimes kicked off by the host. Against all odds, the Doubletree of Cosorso is perfectly healthy, with branches of both the mulberry and the cherry tree extending 5 meters across a patch of land that has been fenced to protect its uniqueness. Scientists suspect that it was a passing bird that gave life to this phenomenon. However, they have no explanation as to how both trees came to survive and bloom. Guess this is a plant equivalent of what humans call a power couple. Number 8, Kalachi. Have you ever fallen asleep in class, or maybe on the bus? Sometimes the desire to sleep is so strong that fighting it seems an impossible task. And while for you it might be due to way too many nights of playing video games, for the residents of the town of Kalachi in Kazakhstan, this has become a real plague. In 2013, an inexplicable disease took over the town. People would uncontrollably fall asleep in public places in the streets, just anywhere, and then sleep for days on end. Besides, many of them, especially children, would have hallucinations, while men, having woken up as long as months of sleep, would have a lasting erection. And we're talking lasting for weeks. Some people suspected alien activity right away. Others supported conspiracy theories that involved poisoning Kalachi residents to get them to leave a valuable location. However, this scientifically impossible occurrence actually got its resolution. A couple of years later, scientists confirmed that the unusual condition named Sleep Hollow was being caused by an abandoned flooded Soviet uranium mine. An evacuation plan was developed by the government of Kazakhstan to relocate Kalachi townfolk. Number 7, the Ringing Rocks of Pennsylvania. One can say with fair certainty that Stonehenge is the most popular rock formation on our planet. Thousands of tourists visit it every year to admire the grandeur and try to solve the mystery. However, Stonehenge isn't the only bizarre collection of rocks known to people. The Ringing Rocks of Pennsylvania got their name due to a particular metallic sound they give out when hit with a hammer. Known as sonorous rocks, this phenomenon has been spotted in several places on Earth. For many years, scientists kept studying them to try to understand the nature and reason for distinctive bell-like sounds coming from these stones. However, none achieved any notable success. The first breakthrough was made by geologist Richard Foss in 1965. Foss discovered that when struck, the rocks produced a series of tones, with a frequency too low to be perceived by human ear. The sound we can actually hear is a result of these tones interacting with each other. This being said, scientists still don't know what physical mechanisms produce such stones. People found a creative use for ringing rocks, turning them into idiophones, musical instruments that create sound by their own vibration, not through air, strings, or membranes. Number 6, Zone of Silence. If ringing rocks sound like too much noise for you, welcome to its complete opposite, Zone of Silence. Known as the Mapimi Silent Zone, millions of years ago, this patch of land in the Mexican desert used to be a seabed of the Tethys Ocean, but now has become an urban legend to the Chihuahua province. Reportedly, once you enter this 50-kilometer-wide territory, all radio and mobile phone signals are lost while compasses go haywire. While this creates a pretty spooky vibe on its own, add the fact that even after you come out of this zone, you're still surrounded by a desert with very few signs of life. Literally everyone living in the vicinity of the Zone of Silence has a story that happened to them inside the zone. The details may vary, but there are also common features: lost time, seeing unusual lights in the sky, and above all, meeting bizarre humanoid creatures. Scientists are very adamant in claiming that even if there is any weird activity in this territory, it's all due to magnetic deposits and remnants of meteorites. Number 5. The Petrifying Well. This one sounds straight out of the times when druids inhabited the forests of England and magical spells actually worked. Near the town of Knaresborough in North Yorkshire, you will find the oldest paid tourist attraction, collecting money from visitors since 1630. What's so special about this particular well, you ask? Well, to start with, it is located next to Mother Shipton's cave, who, apart from being born to this particular cave as the legend has it, was also considered a witch and a prophetess during her lifetime between the 15th and 16th centuries. But most interestingly, if you drop any of your possessions into the well, what you'll receive back is a piece of stone. Now, the effect of petrifying, or to put it more scientifically, encrusting, is not something unusual in itself. After all, this is exactly how stalactites and stalagmites are formed. What's baffling scientists is the timing. Encrusting normally takes centuries, but an artifact dropped into the petrifying well turns to stone in mere months, sometimes even less. And while scientists have proved that the water in the well is extremely rich in sulfate and carbonate causing the petrification, they still can't explain why it happens so fast. Common people are sure that it's Mother Shipton's curse working its magic. Number 4. Devil's Kettle. Water has been assigned magic attributes, as people admired its magnificence and often inexplicable power. Similar to the petrifying well, Devil's Kettle Waterfall will mess with your objects, but this time you won't even get them back. Located in the Judge C.R. Magny State Park in Minnesota, this waterfall is part of the Brule River. While one part of the river continues its way downstream after a 15-meter fall, the other part goes its separate way, plunges down 3 meters and disappears underground into a pothole. As the place where this flow re-emerges on the surface or re-enters the mainstream has never been found, people started experimenting with the pothole. Objects like tennis balls, dice, sticks, and others were thrown into the Devil's Kettle, only to disappear from sight forever. For years, the current was considered too unsafe to explore, so people created their own theories as to what happens to the disappearing flow of Brule River. However, in 2016, hydrologist Jeff Green conducted experiments that allowed him to state that water still flows back to the main current, as there's no loss in the volume. He explained the loss of items by the power of the flow, holding them down to the bottom until completely pulverized. Though this sounds plausible, Green was unable to confirm it, since additional experiments were discouraged by the park management as too dangerous. Number 3. The Boiling River. Another body that made it to our top 10 list of scientifically impossible places is the Chiney-Timchiska River, located deep in the heart of Amazon in Peru. While the Amazon region is famous for its unique nature, Chiney-Timchiska stands out because of its temperature that varies from 45 to almost 100 degrees Celsius. Any fish or frog that's careless enough to get into these boiling waters gets cooked inside out almost instantaneously. And while the name of the river can be translated as boiled by the heat of the sun, scientists claim that a river can only get that hot if it flows in the direct proximity of a volcano. But Chiney-Timchiska doesn't. Some scientists think that there's a fault beneath the earth, but this still remains to be proved. What is definite, though, is the fact that the river is located in the Mayantanaku Healing Sanctuary run by an Ashanika traditional healer. Naturally, this immediately led to assigning some magic attributes to the boiling river. Number 2. Sea of Stars. A sea of stars looks as beautiful as it sounds. The island of Vadu is a part of the Ra Atoll in Maldives and an extremely popular tourist spot, even though its population hardly reaches 500 people. And while Maldives offers many beautiful sights, Sea of Stars truly remains one of the most spectacular ones. It occurs during the late summer, making the sea of the shore shimmer with an azure light. This phenomenon has in fact been completely deciphered by scientists. Waters near the shores of Vadu are full of phytoplankton that, due to a special channel in their membrane, react to electrical impulses, thus creating this stunning visual. And though we know exactly why the Sea of Stars exists, if you get there, it's okay to completely forget the scientific explanation and just believe in magic for a while. Number 1. Pasteland Lights. Scandinavia is known as the home of Aurora Borealis, or the Northern Lights. However, this is not the only celestial light you can see while traveling in the north. From 1930s, people have reported numerous sightings of bright white, yellow, and red lights in the Hesteland Valley in Norway that have no scientific explanations. They last anywhere between a few seconds and over an hour, can occur during both daytime and nighttime, and either slowly hover in midair or travel at an incredibly high speed. The 1980s saw the peak of the phenomenon, when people would report them at least 20 times a week. Naturally, this attracted flocks of tourists to the place, and though since then the number of occurrences has considerably decreased, they still continue to happen. Scientists tried to rationalize them with some chemical processes caused by large deposits of scandium in the area, but tests didn't give any definite results. For all we know, it might be Thor, god of thunder, fighting the ice giants again. Thanks for watching. Leave the comment down below and let us know what place you visited. Don't forget to subscribe for new and upcoming episodes.